All right, we're talking about David Patrick Harry. He's got this stream called The Alien Jesus Myth, Exposing New Age Deception. Sponsored stream. Somebody paid him $250 for this. And I want to point out something here. His Kabbalah stream that was sponsored, 2 hours, 55 minutes. The Puritan stream, another sponsored stream, 2 hours, 29 minutes. And this stream is like almost 4 hours long. 3 hours and 10 minutes long. I mean, he spends more time on this than he does the Puritans, because this is easy fruit. This alien Jesus myth is easy pickings. But he can't talk anything about the Puritans because that takes real research and real looking into, and he can just make stuff up, and it's just ridiculous. So we're going to listen into this stream, and I'm going to show you that David Patrick Harry admits he can't prove Jesus wasn't or isn't an alien. Let's listen in.
There, but again, what blew me away is how prevalent this stuff is. How is it that people actually are falling into this worldview about aliens and extraterrestrials and believing all this alternative history? And one of the difficult things that I began when I was crafting the study guide is like, how do you disprove this stuff? Because it's essentially a non-provable and a non-falsifiable claim. If you claim that Jesus Christ is an alien, okay, and obviously I'm an Orthodox Christian, how do I convince somebody who believes that they're wrong? Well, really,
all right,
the only thing I can appeal to is the historicity of the church, the apostles, the coherency of theology, but they're not interested in any of that. And in fact...
Okay, well, they might not be interested in any of that, but you just admitted that's how you prove it. That's how you prove it. Jesus Christ himself said they have Moses and the prophets. If they don't believe them, they won't believe the one rose from the dead. So you can prove to them from the Bible, the scriptures, the history, that Jesus Christ was an alien. And if they don't believe that, they won't believe the one rose from the dead. Now, he's going to contradict himself here, and we're going to look here. We're going to go to an hour and 12 minutes in here. He's going to contradict. He just said, well, I don't know. How can you disprove it? It's unfalsifiable. Well, I guess you could say about Christianity, that's unfalsifiable too, right? Some people would say that. Now, let's listen into what he says here.
Mary's womb, Mary being just a surrogate mother. And this is what is so mind-blowing, is they think this stuff is way more credible than if you just actually believe the literal interpretation of Scripture.
What? If this is believe the literal interpretation of Scripture? What? Oh my God. This guy just contradicted himself on so many levels, off of so many streams, because this guy has said so many times, no, it's tradition. We're not Protestants here. I'm not going to talk about Scripture. I'm going to talk about Greek philosophy. And he had a guy call into his show that said, we should read the Bible. And he's like, no. Get out of here with that Protestant BS. No. And now he said, number one, you can't prove Jesus was an alien. How do you do that? And then he just said, the literal interpretation of Scripture. The literal interpretation of Scripture. Yes, David Patrick Harry, you are close. You are so close. It's Scripture that matters. It's Scripture that is our normative authority of the faith. It's Scripture that's our principium cognoscendi, that we know anything about Christianity. Scriptures are the epistemic foundation of our faith, as you admitted in a video where you said the truth of Christianity cannot be proved from philosophy, but only from the exegesis of the Old Testament. He's so close and he is so far. And we're going to look at something else he said here. It just blows my mind. You know, actually it doesn't really blow my mind, because you can't get away from the Scriptures. No matter how Christian you are, you know, whatever type of Christian you may be. Whether you're a heretical Christian, like a Mormon or whatever, or a Jehovah's Witness, or a Eastern Orthodox. Ooh, did I just say that? I certainly did. Or whatever, you know. Whatever kind of Christian you are. You can't get away from the Scriptures. Now, let's listen to his final closing thoughts. What did we learn?
I go head to head with Jim Bob. I'm not stopping.
What did we learn?
Either he stops and I win.
That's it. That's not it. What did we learn? What did we learn, David? What did we learn? Here we go. What did we learn?
They were contacted by aliens when they're in their adolescence or early adulthood. So we found out a lot of stuff. We found out these people are batshit crazy.
That's right. David is crazy. He's crazy. He's insane. He goes from saying, this alien Jesus thing is unfalsifiable. How do you show them the truth? I would go to like the historicity of the church, etc., but they're not interested in it. So how do I do it? And then he says they think this is more this is better than a literal interpretation of the Bible. And it's like, you are crazy. You go from hating the scriptures and saying reading the scriptures and studying them is Protestantism, and we're not Protestants, to saying literal interpretation of the scripture will defeat this nonsense. You are crazy, David Patrick Harry. You are insane. But maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your Orthodox phronema. The Orthodox phronema, which says submit to the priest. Don't worry about the Bible. Submit to the priest and our interpretation of the Bible. Either way, you can't get away from the Bible. You can't get away from the scriptures because they are the epistemic foundation of our faith. David has admitted and denied it in this podcast. In this stream, David has both admitted and denied that the scriptures are the epistemic foundation of our faith and the only way to combat heresy and nonsense like the Jesus alien myth. And this guy is crazy. Bye-bye.